Hey guys, what's going on? We got a long hike ahead of us. We got dropped off over here at this area, and evidently it's the wrong location. It was, you know how sometimes a street, just say bowling lane, goes so far and then it'll jump a road and come out on the other side and go further down, like there's two sides of the street. Well, needless to say, I thought I was supposed to be on this side, but I'm supposed to actually be on, I got to go down this neighborhood, across this road, down the neighborhood again to get to the road I have to be on. So, needless to say, they already got drones up on the other end, so I got to go this way. Oh man, we're going to go see what we can find out. We're doing a little PI work on a dog. You remember a while back when that dog got out? And we were doing a video actually when the lady was looking for a dog and pulled up and was talking to us. Well, they think that some man has a dog. Because something to do with a picture that circulated somewhere. The dog was seen in a vehicle with someone, and I don't know, but they don't know for sure. So they asked us, hey, I think y'all can check and see if our dog's in that backyard by chance. I was like, well, yeah, I don't mind. I'll even go about and ask them if they found the dog. Maybe they found it and doesn't know that somebody's looking for it. It's always possible. So not saying that somebody would have taken it, kept it and not given it back. I'm not saying that, right? But really why I wanted to come on is because I was reading this article over the weekend. As y'all know, a gentleman and his daughter were collecting rocks and shells and like the clam shells and stuff along the river. They were out having a fun day this past weekend in Tennessee, Fairview, Tennessee. They're having a father-daughter day. They were collecting shells and rocks along the riverbank. And Fairview is probably, I don't know, an hour's drive to Hendersonville. I don't really know how far it is. I've been through there before because we did check some bridges in that area at one time. So I know I've been to that area. Now, I don't think we went to this area where they were, but we were on that main highway out there. We think it's 840. It's either 840. There's also a road that runs through there called, it's a 100. It's like a small highway, but it's called 100. Kind of runs catty corner from that other road, the 840 highway, which 40 runs right there too, pretty close into Nashville. They're right outside of Nashville, but the opposite direction of Hendersonville. So I went on to Google Earth and got the photo. I'm going to post it on the thumbnail to give y'all an idea. I put a yellow line from where Fairview is to where Hendersonville is. It's not far at all, guys. And it's found that these remains, human remains, were found along the riverbank. So, we've had a lot of flooding. There's been a lot of flooding things going on in those areas. We got flooded in and almost got wiped out in the Memphis area. So I know there's been a lot of flooding going on in those areas. So, man, we should have came in two vehicles. I had a long way to go still. Probably gonna take me at least 10 more minutes. It's still cool though. It's at least not hot yet. But anyway, I'm kind of curious about that because one of our targeted areas was right outside of Fairview. One of our areas that we determined we wanted to search, which we did search, was literally a mile from where these remains were found, where we searched. A mile, that's close. And that was actually that was our second targeted area. Crazy, isn't it, to think about? And it did say that it looked like the remains had been there for a while. So year and a half, maybe longer, I don't know. And it might not have nothing to do with Sebastian Rogers' case. I mean, I don't know that yet. None of us do. But I'm sure that it'll probably take, a couple of weeks, maybe longer, depending, before they are able to determine, if who it could be, or, if it's a male or a female, or an adult or a child, or, it'll take a little bit, I'm sure. This isn't an out of the ordinary one, like, the one that was found with no head, trigger warning. That I knew that wasn't going to be. And then the other one that was found by the mowers, I thought that could have been Ronald Dumas Jr. because it was on the projected path of his car, and where his cell phone was. That's the only reason I thought that one could have been him. We still don't know nothing about that one. So if we have to kind of, I guess, the closer it is, I don't know, for some reason we think that it's more possible. But if you think about it in the long run, I mean, he worked the stepfather worked all the way in Memphis, Tennessee, a couple hours down the road, right? So with that being said, that's a long stretch. That's a needle in a haystack, right? We know that's a long way to have to search. That's a lot of ground to cover. And there is a lot of rural spots. There's a lot of old closed down things. There's a lot of old abandoned buildings and abandoned homes and abandoned cabins. And there's just a lot that in that whole area. You know what I'm saying? Because what I look at is if it was him for some reason, the stepfather, right? If he did dispose of Sebastian somehow, I'm not saying he did, I'm saying if he did, what would he have done it close or far, or, you know what I mean? It's just so hard to determine how or what they would have done, right? I mean, it would have had to been well orchestrated, because evidently they didn't leave anything behind at all. So the only thing we got are some flashlight video, really, and a bunch of lies, of course, and inconsistent stories, but they don't look at that as, that's not enough for an arrest. Now, to me, the lies and the neglect should be enough, but to them, it's not. So, you know, it bothers me. We've searched so many areas there. And in some of these areas where these remains have been located recently, we searched those areas so good too, which is shocking to me. That's the only reason I possibly thought that one that was found under that bridge area by the mower, allegedly the guy mowing, there's more to that story, but anyway, where that one was found. Remember, we had searched that area a couple of months before that. So that's what made me believe, okay, if anything, it could have been possible to be, of course, Ronald Dumas Jr., because that would be the one that was missing around that time. So I don't really know. And then it could have been that it's the bridge on the opposite side that we didn't check that bridge. I don't know exactly. I never really put maps on it because they haven't given us a name. But lo and behold, maybe who knows what this is going to come to. I just know that they're a father and daughter. We're out having a fun day, walking along the river's edge. They had their little buckets and bags or whatever, putting shells and rocks and just kind of having a fun day, right? And getting ready before winter, before it gets too cold to do those types of things. They were out and about having fun. And that's good. That's good to hear that, you know, fathers and daughters get out there. We do that. We do a lot of cloud searching and animal taking pictures and stuff like that. But it makes you wonder. It just has me thinking in my mind, okay, if there was a possibility out of any of these, this would be the one. Because this would be a direction. I always try to figure out, it's going to be a direction that we least expect. If they would have done this, they're going to put this shot in an area that's least likely to be viewed. You get what I'm saying, right? Like, it's not going to be in the backyard or on that route to Memphis. You know, it's going to be something out of the ordinary different. That was always my thought. That's why we tried a lot of those rural roads that ran off of the Highway 40 and all that, like those rural areas that led back to old retention ponds and old construction sites. That's kind of how we did that. And this one is truly off the beaten path of anything that most people would think. So that's the only reason it's kind of alarming. I was going to say something about it yesterday, but we were so focused on that flashlight, on getting those lights tested, that we really weren't worried much about being able, because we didn't know enough yet either, right? I reached out to try to get answers, and of course they don't know anything yet. All I was told was father and daughter were out having a good day, and they stumbled upon human remains on the bank of the river. Now, I don't know if that means right on the edge, or if that means a couple of feet up into the bank, or was it partially exposed, partially not? I don't know. Was it by chance something that could have washed down the river, and then as the river got lower and lower, it got put on the ground? I don't know. I mean, that's a hard thing to say, but to me, it is off the beaten path. And I mean, wouldn't it, you know, for whoever was found, whoever this is, it's going to give somebody answers, at least to where their loved one is. That's the one good thing about, we just talked about on the video this morning about the Decker, like somebody's going to have to stumble upon it. Like, it's going to take somebody out and about, whether it be hiking, fishing, hunting, picking up rocks with your child, whatever it may be. It's going to take something like that. That's usually how these remains are found. Well, I know drones now play a lot of roles, because you see outlines and you see shapes and then you want to go check it out, right? And then it does help. Drones do help a lot. People don't realize how much they help. You know what? Ask Ukraine right now how much drones are helping them win that war against Russia. You know, we've always been a big part of Ukraine. We support Ukraine. We've been over there a couple of times. We've helped, and you know, Sean Penn was there doing a documentary, and it was a lot of cool stuff. It was a lot of fun. It was sad, heartbreaking, but yeah, we were able to move some kids out of villages and save some people, and that's what it was about to us. We felt bad, right? And we felt like it was wrong, so that's why we stepped in. That was before I even had my channel anyway. And actually, we were going to go back again, and then I started my channel in October, which almost been a year, guys. But back to this, I'm curious. I'm curious about the area. You know, I don't know exactly where they were found. That's the hard part. We don't have the exact location. We have a general idea. But what I want to know is there any little roads that lead back in there to this area? Like roads that aren't traveled a lot. I don't know that. I need to really break it down and do some research on it when I get back. But we've just been swamped busy today. We didn't sleep last night doing those light tests, and now we're going, and it's getting hot on me, and I still got about I got 2 more blocks. Oh yeah. But you know, I did want to get it out to y'all. There has been some remains found by a father and daughter out rock and shell hunting. From what I was told, they like to pick up those big clam shells that are along the river. You know, like the raccoons and stuff, they'll get those clam shells and they open them up. Those big white ones, that's what I'm talking about. Those kind of big shells like that, that you find along the river. So, all we can do is pray that they can figure out who this person is and who these remains belong to, and hopefully it'll solve some mystery. It might not be Sebastian Rogers, it might not, but whoever it is, somebody is going to possibly get the answers they've been looking for, which is amazing. And that's what it takes. That's why I say get out here and walk these rivers, just go do it for fun. Even if you're just walking around picking up rocks or whatever. You never know. what you're gonna find. Believe me, never know. Just like when we stumbled upon that gang member out there in Lubbock when we were looking for Lily Pepler, I think. When we were looking for her, remember we found that guy with all those blue bandanas wrapped around him. He was drug off in those woods, all the buzzards, remember? So you never know. You never know what you're gonna find and when you're gonna find it. But with that said, guys, we're gonna get out of here. We gotta get rid of here. I gotta see what they want me to do. I'm gonna ring this doorbell and stuff. So we'll get with y'all a little bit later. Trigger warnings, of course. And of course, I'm not saying anybody's guilty. I'm just talking about remains that were found. So, but still, allegedly, these are all my opinions. Put it that way. That way we're safe, right? Everyone's innocent until proven guilty. Y'all's comments, y'all's alone, not to reflect the channel. We do our research together. We are big hard little family. All right, guys, we'll talk soon. Prayers that they can figure out who this is quickly. All right, guys, talk soon. Bye.